Kia ora, dear listener or viewer. Welcome to Zealand. Now, Zealand is set in a post-apocalyptic world, so it goes without saying that we will be exploring some of the darker natures of humanity. So if you're squeamish or the idea unsettles you, take your chance now to walk away. For now, we return to Zealand. Kia ora, guys, gals, and legionnaires. Rycon here, and welcome back to Zealand. This is Chapter 5, Part 2, What Remains. And what remains has been left behind on the ground, on the road, as you continue to move through Parkery. You heard other noises coming from some of the houses that you had seen that were closed up in this area still. Houses that hadn't been completely emptied out entirely. But you've left behind the ones that you have dealt with for now and have continued on at a little bit of a faster pace. Not a outright sprint, but fast enough that you should be moving away from where you heard this noise before. So there isn't so much stealth at this stage, but there's a bit of a clank and you can hear your footsteps as you continue on along Parkery Road. Luckily, the grasses alongside the road don't seem to move. But you stay aware all the same. Nick out in front, not with his bow put down entirely, keeps an eye out towards the grasses around you, looking for any sign of movement. As you all stick together, the six of you, essentially in two abreast, effectively, walking down this road. A road that seemingly no one has come down for a very long time. You continue along this road, through Parkery proper. It's not a giant township at all. Most of the houses here seem closed up. And, at a glance, this place seems unaffected by the infected. But as your eyes draw towards the windows, you're sure that you can see figures just standing inside the homes, sealed, heads resting against the glass. And as you pass by, they slowly start to move, pouring against the glass ineffectively, with hands that have shriveled and dried. Prisoners inside their own homes, people that have been there for years, slowly rotting, slowly petrifying. There is a moment when you're watching these people inside their homes. I need everybody to roll perception for me as you're moving through this area.
Pass 11.
9 pass.
67 pass.
Okay.
Fail.
Heaps.
Not only does he have good perception, he always rolls high as well.
92 fail.
Alright, okay, so Jake, Nick, and Fernand, did you succeed? Yep. So the three of you are aware of something.
It's on the right. Is it on the right?
No, it's on the left.
Oh, okay.
It's on the left because you're heading effectively out of town this way. When you're going by one of these houses, you can see that on the side of one of the houses, The window's been broken, shattered, seemingly a long time ago. It's not a very windy day. And from this home, you can see a viscosity to the air. You can see particles drifting, very much like what you saw in Whangarei.
Mask up, boys.
Slowly drifting out from this home. You hear the call to mask up. Thankfully, a gas mask has been brought along for you as well.
I
You see all
waste
the
no
others.
time to put it on. I don't know why, but take no chance.
You all mask up as you continue moving throughout Parkley. You slow down at this point, aware that there are watchers inside these homes. Watchers that seem to be unable to leave their tombs. And you leave them, choosing to continue on. Once you reach the main intersection in Parkley, you can see a school field. In that field are numerous tents. All kinds. Not like official disaster relief tents. These are the kind of tents that you would take camping with your family. They all sit there with lawn chairs out the front of them. There's paper strewn about the place. Articles of clothing. But no sign of people.
Were these here when we came before?
Yes.
So they're definitely past
And we checked them?
The tents,
Yeah.
not inside them.
Okay. I passed it on to these guys.
These are past tents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good, someone picked up on it.
You choose to ignore them. Carry on.
What's the field like? Is it full of grass? Would be, wouldn't it?
It is. Overgrown.
Could be anything in there.
What is the distance from here to the tents?
Ooh, not very far.
No. It's right on the road, eh? So
30, 40.
Maybe I will pick up a rock, throw it at the tent, see if there's any action happening from that.
Side the road. Look around for a second. Find a pretty sizable rope. Rock.
It's like a rope, but smaller. And harder.
Yeah, so smaller and harder, yeah.
stone.
Yeah. You pick up your rock. You hiff it into there.
It's meant to make that sound when it hits.
Yeah, no, I know. That was pretty good, eh? That was a great one. You wait for a moment. No sirens in the distance. It's just
Zombie police. Run.
silent.
We don't see any motion in grass from rock throw.
It doesn't take a perception check. But suddenly you see the tents have a little bit of motion to them. Movement.
Let's move.
As you start moving away, you see figures exit the tents. Look in your direction. Completely silent. No sound. Except the as they start swishing through the grass, heading in your direction.
Zombie mimes.
Heavily decayed, disfigured people. Some missing limbs. Most with their clothing semi-fused into their flesh. Others still seemingly a little juicy, with familiar boils and spots and crustacean-ish mounds across them. And not as in like crustacean, not like actual sea crustaceans, more like crusty mounds of leakage.
Go. Go.
Yeah. Don't want to deal with those.
Go.
You keep moving. the fields are quiet. And for the next 25 to 30 minutes, as you make your way around the rest of Parkley Road, you come to a T-section. This one down here. You have passed by a number of houses, but you've stayed your course. And once you reach here, where you can see Parkley Road connecting with another, I need all of you to roll perception for me as you cross onto this new section of the road.
Fail.
28. Pass.
Okay.
13 pass.
Sorry, Nick?
I pass.
2 pass.
Okay. So a few of you are aware of something as you come up towards the road. The one that you're on seemingly hasn't seen any activity, movement for a good long while. But this road, you can see the weeds, the grass, the detritus that was once on here has been shifted aside. Something moved along this road semi-recently.
So you're talking about going from, well, don't know the direction, but
Don't know the direction.
Parker Road to your left and then Rahu Kitty to your right there.
It seems to
Something's gone
Go
through
along.
there. If it, any sort of weeds and stuff like that, which way are they bent?
roll investigation for me.
Fuck. No.
It's difficult to tell. The wind has been blowing through here. It's not something that you can very easily make out looking at them.
So you said there's some sort of tracks. Is like do they seem like footfalls? Or do they seem like tire tracks?
The two of you roll investigation for me, plus 20.
That is
That's fine.
Definitely a pass.
That's a 31 success.
Pass the bus.
31 success.
Okay, alright, the two of you, having a little bit of a closer look, you can see wide tire treads. Decently wide. Some of them seem to be 2 wide treads right next to each other.
Quite heavy as well.
So I'm assuming Jake's told us about the big truck that you saw.
Yeah, we would have relayed all that information, yeah.
This looks like the big truck you saw.
Yeah.
And also the big truck we saw on our way to the MDC
Yeah.
when we got there.
Did
But
the truck they saw sound like the truck we saw?
The truck you saw looks like it had a bit of work done to it, but it definitely didn't have gold spray paint and other reflective things over it.
Okay. Oh,
But similar
Look.
style of like container on the back, sort of, or
It's a truck and trailer. Yeah. The one that you did see, and that's a while back now,
yeah.
it had some kind of protection on it. It'd been reinforced more than its just regular form. But it didn't sound like the vehicle that...
How long ago did you guys see that vehicle?
that was way back before we.
That was just before we came up.
We say way back.
Yeah, way back.
I mean, 3 weeks ago.
About a month ago.
Well,
no,
yeah,
2 months ago now.
2 months. Yeah,
Because we spent 3 weeks going through the wastes. So it's
yeah,
about a month and a half,
ago.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
Any fire damage?
Not that you've seen yet. But you're on the lookout, are you?
Skulk hasn't been here. Yeah.
Okay.
Although the coast is to our right and we're going to our left, so.
Mm-hmm.
Does this, from the basic knowledge we have, does Rahuakiri Road lead up towards Whangarei area? Or
it does.
You
vaguely?
take out your maps, your road maps, you flick them down. Yeah. Runs right along the coast. Leads up towards Marsden Point.
So they could have come this way. Because there's a turn off. If we go down this road, there's a turn off down to Metacana Valley Road. Takes you right through to Metacana.
We're trying to avoid
We won't go through Medicana.
Yeah.
No, it's a long way.
Yeah.
But they could get there. They could have come from up there, gone through here, turned left down the road, straight through Medicana.
Definitely seems the way they came.
Yeah.
Let's keep going towards Wellsford.
Medicana seems if you're going back to Auckland, a weird way to. Why you'd turn off there and.
This could
Dunno.
be tracks going towards Malakana rather than going towards Auckland. We don't know. We can't determine the direction of the.
You got where
tracks.
we are.
No.
You got going to Medicana, which will take you through to Warkworth, or you're going to go through where we're going to Welford. Both end up on State Highway 1. One's up here, one's down here. If you're looking at getting back to Auckland, going through Medicana would have been a bit of a faster way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's sort of otherwise going up through Wellsford and around would just be a little bit longer. It's the most direct route.
So
is it
Auckland.
So there's a good enough chance that this wasn't going towards Malakana, it was going towards Auckland, right? Is what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying
going
would have
through
gone,
Medicana?
Going through, okay,
would have gone to Medicana to get to Auckland, which would have been faster.
Yeah. Okay.
But let's keep going. It's all
Yeah,
just
yeah.
conjecture
Yes.
and kind of pointless.
Yep.
We've got a mission to keep.
Yeah.
Roll out.
You keep to it. And at that point, we'll start rotating.
So following the tracks for a little while.
So
Yeah.
It is very hilly around
don't
here.
really not notice it when you're driving around or whatever. When you see it like that, New Zealand is so hilly.
What's it, sorry?
Sure.
You are.
Okay, your glass sit down. Were you waiting to do that to someone?
So, you continue along Pakari Road, keeping your group together, tight.
I'm just gonna, as we're walking along the tracks, just keep a rough eye out, see if anything along the way might, something thrown out a window or something left behind from this convoy, and whether it was coming or going, or
All right. We'll see how we go. You continue along Parkery Road. And for the most part, it's easy going. As easy as it can be. In some parts, the road is nearly fully overgrown. You can see along some sections, like mud and dirt has slid down from the other side, covering parts of the road. You see these deep treads which have pulled through here, and as you get closer and with your investigation rolls from before, you're able to determine that it seemed like the vehicle that came through this way is going the way that you're going now. Based upon all of the dirt and the mud that's been kind of sprayed up and left to dry along open parts of the road. You follow these treads.
Is it possible to estimate the age of the treads?
3 weeks, I bet.
Roll investigation for me. That is going to be a -20 to your skill. This is difficult.
I have rolled 53 and my skill is a 40, so if it's -20, then I'm failing this check.
It is difficult to determine. There's been a lot of rain since then. Since whenever this might have been. It's difficult to tell how long ago this happened.
But definitely not super fresh.
Not fresh. You're able to at least determine that this isn't something that happened within the last few days. Yeah. Or 10 minutes. That you're pretty sure.
definitely
11
not
minutes,
months old,
not
because it's
sure.
definitely vaguely recent. Like,
Could be.
it's still here.
Yeah, it is still here. And you know at the very least that there was a whole heap of rain. Okay. The road winds on.
was thinking of the long and winding road.
You come across a quarry, seemingly deserted and with no activity. You can see portions of it from the road. No vehicles, no people. Absent of anything. Just grass and rock.
Sounds like a concert.
Exactly.
What a clue.
Cliffside, alpha side.
As you...
Just so I can take a mental note in game, do I see that, like, do I see any, clay kind of areas? Like,
Back by the quarry? Yes. Yep. Yep.
swears?
Yep. Yeah.
I just take note and go.
You do that. You reach another
See the tires turn off? there?
intersection. As you get towards there, you indeed see the tires turning off, heading down Matakana Valley Road. However, you also see them going forward as well. Down Whangarepo Valley Road. Seemingly going both ways.
Same kind of tracks, or
Who's investigating this?
All of us, same time.
All of you?
All helping each
I'm
other.
definitely looking.
Okay, so no one's keeping watch. Alright, everyone roll investigation.
Straight?
Yeah, this is challenging.
I have failed my investigative check.
Do we have any passes?
I failed drastically.
Pass.
The two of you pass. Okay. You're all looking, some of you perhaps in the wrong places. Looking at this tread, some of you seem to think that, yeah, there's a chance that perhaps part of this, convoy could have turned off and gone up towards there. Looking much closer, both Dan and Jake, you're able to determine that these are the exact same treads, going both ways. Same spacing, same design.
Can we tell
If they're all going the same direction, so one's
Yeah.
going that way. Is it the one that we
You
see
can
going?
definitely see a turn.
Yeah.
So you know that this vehicle has turned and gone down Matakana Valley Road. But you can also see those same treads going forward. What you don't see are treads from this side turning right.
From Matakana Valley.
So you don't see treads from here turning this way.
Oh,
You
so
see
it's
you
just
see
back
treads
and
turning
forth
from
between
here to here,
Matakana.
and you also see the treads
That
going that way,
right, interesting.
continuing on.
Is it a single tread, or does it look like many trips have been made?
There is only one set of this set.
So he could be driving very carefully, or perhaps only went one time.
The tracks going up Whangarepo Valley Road. Can we tell the direction of those ones?
Direction's hard to determine.
But if there is no track from our road to that road, only turning left, then he must have gone left, done some business, and then gone up whatever the name of the
Can we at
road.
least, with the tracks crossing over it, does it look like the ones we've been following are the most recent corner, like they cross over the ones heading the other direction?
The ones that run from Whangarepo to Matakana Valley, vice versa, seem to be over the top that come from the one here turning left.
Either it turned around,
Oh, there were two.
or there were two. One came down Whangarepo Valley, the other one came through Park Creek.
Could be just like a transport of materials.
There still could have been two, and when one crashed in Matakana, the other one
They
turned
left
around
it
and came
until-
back.
Yep,
Off
possible.
of the other route.
So there's a chance those guys are in Wellset.
Good thing I bought a big gun.
You guys want to turn around? I understand.
Nope, that's fine.
Just gonna have to be extra careful.
It's then you're on.
Keep eyes out.
Some can.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah, it's the same.
Stop winking at me. Make me uncomfortable.
All right.
If you keep an eye out and you lend a hand, we should be fine.
What can I say? That accent.
Rock and roll, guys.
I say as I take out the stein. Hold.
Which way are you walking? You're heading...
Whangarepa Valley.
On the Ripple Valley Road, yes.
Okay.
Following our predestined
Yes.
route.
Because it sounds like a fun road.
Take my horse that way.
Whangaripoa.
It's interesting that you say that.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
As you round the bend, in the centre of the road, clear as day,
Kill it.
as it is day, you see
Maybe.
split near in half the ass end of a horse and the front end on either side of the road. The front end, there still seems to be some movement to it. From this distance, the skin is... Well, I mean, this thing has been torn apart here. Blown apart. And this is at a distance that you're looking at this.
Enough to see if it was like a very rough tearing in half, does it?
You're going to have to get closer to see.
First things first. We take it out as soon as we can.
You can shoot it maybe with your big
it's,
gun?
That's very, very loud.
Definitely a bow job.
With-
It's a boat.
Nick, are you ready to give a bow job?
I'll do bow jobs.
To a horse.
Give a bow job to a horse.
Horse bow job. Yeah, that's me.
Okay, well, at a distance, you're able to take your time. You're in no rush, so you have an aim bonus, so you're able to apply half of your shoot skill.
So we expect your bow job to be really good.
So
It
add...
was pretty average. I rolled 44.
okay,
And my shoot skill's 81, so I can add half of that. Or move it by half. So what does that get me?
81. 84.
81
Plus
is
then
going to
Bit of
be...
damage.
80.
that's
Gives me
torso.
like somewhere between 20 something and 60
You can
something.
kill it.
I do that then.
Or with aim, he can shift it.
You can
Yeah.
shift it to the head easy
He
with
can shift
8.
to the head.
Yeah, so you draw back,
Yeah.
taking a deep breath, release your arrow, it arcs up, and it comes right down in where this thing's head seems to be. The movement that was there, the hoof that you could see just rising slightly along the side of the road, falls limply next to it.
Finished.
Finished, Nick says.
I don't know about you, but that was a quick bow job.
Let's go.
You start moving up
Always
towards
is.
this thing. You can see the treads continue through here. You see a huge amount of blood and entrails and pieces that have split along the road, some of it embedded in the dirt and muck and grime on the road. The treads themselves, like it's not all mud the entire way along. A lot of it is seen just by disturbances in the weeds and things like that are growing over there, but also there is a almost like muddy print that's left behind in some areas. You guys are just leaving the horse as is? I mean, Nick, you go over to get your arrow, right?
I'll get my arrow, of course, yeah.
As you go over to grab your arrow, roll perception for me, my friend.
I was just going to ask a question as well.
Okay.
Pass.
Does it
51
have any
pass.
saddlebags or anything?
That was a pass?
That was a 51 pass, yeah.
Okay. Any saddlebags? Just having a quick look. As far as you can tell, nope. Seemingly not. No saddle, no bags. Nick, as you get close to this thing, you can see, like, underneath where its jugular is, there is a decent section of it that seems to be missing.
Okay.
You've seen things that have been bitten before, that have been partially eaten. Something was eating this thing. Or attempted to eat it at one point.
I share with the class. After I come back.
Take the arrow out, and as you're walking back towards the
Yep.
group, Nick, I need everyone else but Nick to roll perception.
Oh,
Sorry, buddy. Your back's turned.
Past 26.
Okay.
my eyes work backwards though.
They do. They do. Unfortunately, this isn't hearing. This is sight.
I passed a perception check.
Hey!
Yay, pass.
Woo!
Fail. 59 fail.
Yeah.
Okay.
1.
Oh, okay. That's a success. I mean, it's a success.
Yeah. No.
Nope. Okay, so Jake, Scott, and our man over here, Mikhail. While Nick's walking back, there is a line of trees, if you look with me. A line of trees over this way here. Nick's walking back to where you are here. You see two large shapes emerging from those trees, and they just stop and stare at you. There are two horses standing by the trees, just looking in your direction.
Do they look evil?
Are these our runaway horses from Auckland?
Whistle and find out.
Roll a logic check to see if you can remember what your horses looked like after everything you've been through.
That's a fail.
They're not wearing saddlebags. You don't think they're your horses.
To tell you like immediately as well when I do it, like without obviously.
Man, I failed
I
that.
just point out. Hopefully, Nick sees me pointing.
You see Scott pointing behind you, Nick. You spin around and you see the same sight.
I was half expecting you to go, that might be your dad.
Yeah, okay. I run back then.
I'm
You run back towards the others, okay?
Yep.
distracted from these horses with the other question I was going to ask. The horse that's in half, now that we're closer, you obviously see there's a lot of stuff on the road. Does it look like it was potentially hit by something and cleft in half, or what kind of in half is it?
It seems like it, yeah. It's not like a clean in half. This thing, like, its back legs, they're not just, like, separated clean. They are
Like
completely
some kind of
disfigured
sharp
and...
cattle guard kind of.
Someone Mad Max this shit.
Yeah.
Must have been Big Car who ripped horse in half.
These two lumbering shapes are just sitting there. Not sitting, standing beneath the trees.
The truck that we saw, did it have a wedge in front of it?
I
Because it was clearing cars?
don't think it had a wedge.
Because wasn't it when we were walking down that bridge, the cars were
Yeah.
on the side
They
of the
were
road?
already on the side when we got there.
I can't give you a 100% answer on that.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it did or didn't,
Yeah.
but I just remember the cars had already been shifted
I don't think
when
it
it
did,
came
to
through.
be honest. I think they were shifted already.
Yeah, they were definitely shifted already because we hid behind one of them.
Yeah, we hit inland.
So, these two shapes.
We're running to the house.
Which house?
The one we would have walked past, I guess.
This
The closest one.
back here.
I mean, there's nothing on the other side that we can see.
Looking into this field here. A lot of long grass.
Nothing. Yeah. That's
I
the safest place we know.
can
Hopefully it's safe.
Jake starts to
start
turn
cocking that hand crossbow.
and starts running.
Run back to the
As
house.
you start trying to use the mechanism like on your leg to cock your hand crossbow.
I start wielding my spread axe.
You unwield it, put it back.
Yeah.
I get my gun in hand, but I stay as far, like, on, so if the horse are on that side, I'm going to say on the far this side of the party. So as a last resort, if everything else fails, then I'll fire the gun.
As Jake starts to run, starts to move, everyone else starts trying to get into action. You see the slightly larger of these two step out from the shade of these trees a little bit more in front of the other one for a second and just stop and just looking straight in your direction. You're still a decent distance away from them.
Can we make out any details about them from this range?
You're probably one of the only people that are still there. Everyone else is taking off running. You're crossbowing up. roll perception for me as you're there.
Why not? Let's use the sigil for this.
I'll be guarding him, but I'm not looking. So
Okay.
I'm gonna start aiming once I'm far enough back. I'm gonna start aiming down the scope.
Nah.
Okay. You're looking, you're trying to cock this up.
Distracted.
You cocked it up.
You get a little bit further away. Mikhail, who you sticking with?
I am making sure the road is between me and horses.
Okay, alright. You're keeping the road and maybe some of the other people in between.
I'm also a little bit worried about creatures in the grass.
Okay.
So I'm taking a look behind me
Yep.
before I step in grass.
Yep, keeping a good look. Backing away from the road a little bit, getting into the grass there.
And
Getting
I'm
separate.
taking knife.
Yeah, so I would
Yeah.
be behind Mikhail as well. So
Yep.
I'd be behind
You guys
everybody.
keep getting behind each
Yeah,
other.
yeah, just this competition. No, I am. You draw up your
Yeah, it's
start
still-
looking towards
yeah.
it. Okay.
Through the scope, looking at it closer. Am I seeing anything else? Anything?
As best you're able to tell, this is a horse.
Yep, this is a horse, of course.
This is a horse. And it just seems to be its head, its eyes just kind of looking from side to side at those that still remain on the road.
So look undead.
Have you seen a dead horse before?
We
Other
just-
than the
we-
one
we
down
just
there?
did- literally
It
just-
has,
I can
it
tell
has
you.
glowing red eyes.
Doesn't look anything like the one that's on the road. The one on the road looked disheveled and
This one's in one
had
piece.
bite mark. Yes, this is in one piece. Giving it a close look over, you don't see any wounds on it.
Might not be a dead horse, guys.
You're right near Vedant at this point. You
I will
whisper this.
put knife back, grab some grass,
Mm-hmm.
hold up grass and go. And see if horse likes grass.
Roll diplomacy for me. I'm gonna give you a plus 40 to your skill here.
It is very close, but still failing.
you
Oh
could-
really? With a
you-
plus
No, you
40?
could say it's a very fine craft.
Yeah, I don't know if it's fine craft. You're
I
not really
rolled
crafting.
76, and my
Your
normal
crafting
diplomacy was
relationships.
Intuition.
he fell by 6.
Oh wow. Okay. You see this thing
30. I'm better with Russian
step
horses.
forward still a little bit, and then kind of gets a little bit of a scare, seemingly. And turns around and moves back towards the trees a
whips
little
and
bit.
goes,
The other,
"Okay."
yeah, the other,
I say to
the other one stays where it
feel
was.
like zombie horse is so skittish. Maybe it's normal horse.
I agree.
Yeah, if it was a zombie one, it would have come straight for us.
Maybe we wait for Jake to realize, or just let him run to hell.
you stop, you turn around, you see the others are kind of like standing there at this point.
Like, fuck these guys, keep going.
Yeah.
No, so I come back. Well, binocs, have a good look.
Do we still see floaty things in the air from gas?
Not around here. Once you kind of got outside of Pakri, you haven't seen anything like that since.
Point of curiosity. When was the last time we saw a non-zombie animal?
You saw some seagulls?
But seagulls
Fish,
are not
lots of
mammals,
fish.
right?
No, they're not. They're not. The last time that you saw a mammal,
Yeah, a non-zombie mammal aside from a human being.
those two horses that you had a long while back that you scared away.
I'm telling you.
I will slowly walk across the road in direction of horses. Very calmly.
I don't have a very good feeling about this.
Yeah, we're like, hey, even if they're not zombies, a kick and that will still fuck you up.
I will be very cautious.
I'm thinking more along the. Are you around?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm thinking more along the lines of how has a mammal, how have these two horses not been zombified yet?
It's an extremely small population area.
Aiming.
Like, ridiculously small.
Aiming
That
on that
thing
area
was
with that crossbow. and just
something was
watching as he
chewing on that
approaches.
one.
Yep. And it could have been hit by something and then it turned afterwards.
I heard someone say binocs before. Was that you, Jake?
Yeah.
Roll perception for me. You get a plus 20 to your skill.
12 pass.
Okay.
I have a bad feeling.
You couldn't see the one behind as easily before. Well, you couldn't see any. You were running. But the one that's behind,
Does it have a baby on the
you
back of it?
can...
Little baby zombie riding
4 of them.
Where's this baby thing coming from?
A baby with a lightsaber.
You can
Bats
see
riding babies riding horses.
that there's something around its neck.
Like
Quite thin,
Like a rosary.
but then it comes down to something out the front. It seems to be heart-shaped. And there's something written on it, but you can't make out what it is at this distance, even with your binoculars.
relay that. It's got a necklace.
my aim
It's
with
got a
my-
necklace.
Shift my
Your scope's got a bit more magnification.
If you are reading this,
It's a droid.
You see a name on there. At least what you think is a name. Or maybe it's a description. It says Buttercup.
I think that one's called Buttercup.
I say Buttercup. And I'm still holding grass. Buttercup.
Roll diplomacy.
More
Plus 60.
It's very hard to fail, but I can do it.
wow. It's because you're saying it with a Russian accent. Save me if you try it. No, horses do not like you. It's the
I
Russian
needed
accent.
to roll below 90, but I was not
Horses-
able to do that.
Oh,
I rolled a
Sigil.
95.
There's just something.
There's not sigils.
Can I do it after the fact?
Reroll.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Can I
you
just
can
add
reroll.
the thing?
No,
Or
no,
just
no,
reroll?
no, so
I have to reroll.
Let you reroll, but you still
The
have the
adding you
same.
do beforehand, the reroll we can do after.
Oh, it's great. I'm much more diplomatic now.
All right. Okay. You succeed. Fate intervenes. This is a very skittish-looking horse. Even as it does get closer, it does back off for a second or two, but then comes closer. When you see it, Buttercup, it did seem to. There was a moment, almost like quite a head tilt, but there was something there, perhaps recognition. And it slowly starts to make its way over towards you until it gets close enough that it just
Eats your.
Yeah, on your arm.
eats your other hand. Yeah, no. Takes the grass out and just.
I will scratch horse on head when he's eating the grass.
I'm looking. So there's trees behind where the horses were, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm now looking at keeping an eye out on that tree line.
Okay.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
Roll perception for me.
Yeah, I got binocs on that tree line.
What's my perception? 36 success.
They haven't moved yet, but it doesn't mean that they won't.
I'm keeping an eye out on them.
The trees, that is.
Yeah, I assumed.
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye on
3 trees coming towards you.
Okay. No, you scan across the trees, looking for anything else. You don't see anything but this other horse, which does slowly start to trot over as well. Slightly larger than this horse here.
Does it have a necklace on it?
Kind of comes in from the side and takes a bit of the grass. No discerning features on this one here.
What are we going to do with horses?
No bridle or gear like this on the horse.
I don't think all 6 of us can fit on 2 horses.
No, well, no, but
If only we bought the bicycle.
It-
Is there it's quite long grass. Is there a path they've carved through the grass to this point that we can see?
Yep.
Just start to approach?
Yep.
they also serve as ways to carry more gear back.
Yeah.
So if we can somehow bring these horses with us,
Also quite loud.
yeah, that is true.
I know you've seen these two, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Can we tell a location they've come from or direction these horses have come from? Looking at those tracks through the grass?
Roll investigation.
I'm talking to Jake in slightly hushed tones because I don't know what's around, but
Real hard to tell.
my feeling is that if there's horses here, these belong to someone, and that someone might be around as well.
But there's no fence from road to horses, so
There is a fence there. You're essentially leaning across the fence to give
there's a
them the
fence.
thing.
So you might be right.
So
Just don't take offense.
These horses would be a great addition to our.
I agree.
But
If there's
we have to also see that if we go back the same way, we have to go back through that spored region.
Yeah. Didn't think of that. That's very true.
I don't know if we have gas mask for horse.
No.
I don't think they'll take too kindly to be having their
Face covered.
face covered.
No, it would. Not by itself. I mean, you could probably teach them
On
eventually.
horse, you could
but
potentially just go around.
through the
slightly-
long grass with fences you can't see. Be
Not to say
dangerous.
they haven't already inhaled some spores.
True.
Taking them back could be a bit of a risk, but no. I'm no vet.
I mean, if they're here when we come back through, maybe then we can.
Yeah.
Is it easy for me to determine which house the fence that is enclosing the horses belongs to?
Not easy, but enough so that when you look down the road, you do see a property. A house around about here.
Perhaps we should go and see if those people are home and want to be friends with us. They're probably not zombies, otherwise they would keep zombie horses.
Maybe there's more horses.
There is more horses around here. Back on Rycon Road, there's a horse rides place.
They also might have some saddles.
Could be worth checking out.
And muzzles.
But I also know we're on a time crunch.
I think that's
But if we can increase our speed here, that could help us
We
immensely.
could
Yeah.
take 10 minutes and save a half day if we
Yeah.
can ride horses.
No,
Yeah,
I agree.
that's
yeah,
fair.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Maybe so they don't feel like we are a band of marauders. Maybe only a couple people go to door.
Oh, there's strength in numbers.
Okay.
Just and just to put things in perspective here, there are 4 people wearing chainmail.
Yeah.
I just accidentally kicked the camera. Everything's fine.
Oh, it's all no, it's fine.
Like a magnitude 6.2 over here.
There are 4 people wearing chainmail. There are 2 people decked out in heavy firefighting gear, which has been
all with gas masks.
kind of blacked out.
Yeah.
Yes,
All gas
maybe
masks,
if there's
one
if
massive
we're not seeing
sniper
any,
rifle.
A sniper
any
rifle,
spores, I would demask.
Yeah.
Weapon monstrosity.
You demask a little bit. Seemingly, you don't see any, but you start to move towards this property.
I will debolt and take the tension out of the crossbow.
Okay.
I've still got gun in hand.
Keeping hand
I
on
don't trust
the.
people.
If
Why?
we can't be completely defenseless. I mean,
Yeah.
like anyone who expects us to be defenseless is the people you should be worried about.
Yep.
You approach the driveway.
Are the horses following us?
Along the fence, yeah. They trot alongside through the tall grass. As you approach here, you can see that the front gate of the property is closed. There's a, well, not a complex thing, it's just a chain with like a little clip over thing. Not a lock, but just like a little clip. There's also a mailbox. It's a little rusted, slightly. It's got some daisies painted on it, and it says Hudson's along the side.
It has a name on it. It means this story here.
Any mail in it?
Only female. Yeah. No, you check.
So it's a female box.
Yes, there is.
Does that mean we have to pay?
It's difficult to tell what it is. It's been eaten by snails. It's kind of mulched together. You think there's something there. You can see the ACC logo on one of them.
I'm gonna see if there's anything I can get out of the mulchy pile of.
What does the property look like? Is it completely overgrown? Is there
It's pretty
footpaths?
overgrown. The driveway, it's gravel. Grass has grown up through it.
Can we see source of water for the horses?
Looking around in this field, with the grass at the level it is, you can't make out for certain if there is something around here. Roll perception for me. You might be able to climb up on the fence a little bit, get a little bit more sight.
I have been successfully perceiving by 1. I rolled 29.
Nice. That's nearly a critical success, which is okay. You get a little bit more height on the fence, and yeah, you think you can see what looks to be like a water trough. A few of them throughout the fields. Bits where the grass doesn't seem to, it's slightly parted.
Do they look like type of water trough which needs to be filled by human?
It's difficult to tell from this distance. They seem to be circular.
Like the standard concrete farm.
Oh, can we see a bullcock on it?
Sorry?
Can we see a bullcock on it?
A bullcock. Oh, the thing that floats.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You can.
Okay, let it refill itself. Let's go out. Let's check out the house.
Yes.
Yeah, anything in there? Well, there were.
So, having a look through, it's pretty damaged. Like I said, the SC logo is really the only thing that you can make out. Some of the others look like they might be power bills. Yeah.
Damn, no.
They overdue, are they? Couple of years.
Couple of years, yeah. No, it's all on AP, so it's still been going.
Yeah.
The only thing you can tell is that the two names that are on these varying different letters, one is Ted and the other one is Maria.
Ted and Marie.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we?
Should we knock on door?
You start to make your way up along the driveway, closing the fence behind you, the gate. You're all traveling as one unit.
Back part.
Yep, hanging at the back.
I'll recommend whoever closes the gate doesn't chain it, just push it closed.
I will push it closed.
The horses, now kind of near you, just following you, just seem to be interested in this group of people that are here. Still kind of staying a little bit at a distance, but don't seem to be as afraid anymore.
As we get close to the house, are we able to tell sort of the condition of the place, like broken windows?
No broken windows from what you can see. The curtains are drawn.
Any form of reinforcement?
Not seeing any reinforcement.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put my mask back on, but I'm gonna be ready to put my mask back on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You move up towards the door. Who's in the front?
I look like a Jehovah's Witness. Maybe I should knock on door.
Scott's in charge here.
Yeah, send the big guy with missing an eyeball up front.
I was,
big axe.
I was
giant
just,
axe,
Maybe
yeah.
the normal looking people.
I was just gonna suggest
Oh, great, we're all out.
knocking on the door. If nobody answers and we want to go in, me and Vedant stay outside. The rest of you guys go in.
Sounds good to me.
It is good.
You're up to the door.
Housekeeping.
Roll perception for me, Scott. -20. You don't need to give yourself a negative for your eye.
Oh, because
This
hearing.
is hearing.
But it's literally to everything with a head injury.
Well, no. This one's just hearing. It's your sight that's impaired. Your ear's fine.
No.
Hello.
Seems clear. Don't hear anything.
We found your horses.
No response.
Do the horses look like they've been well fed?
There's lots of grass around.
Or are they a little bit on the bony side?
No, they seem alright.
Okay.
There's a lot of grass here.
Do they look like clean, like well maintained, like brushed and that sort of taken care of like that?
It looks like they've been out here for a little while, but
Have they got
they do
horseshoes?
seem to. Yes, they do.
Or sneakers?
Yeah. They've got like really luscious manes, but they are a little tattered, and you can see the occasional twig and brambles and things like that just stuck in them.
Yeah, I fully move back and make the way for them.
No sound.
Going up. We'll do a quick 360 around the house.
It's not a
I
bad
will also note that you can see just to the side there is a shed, like building. No windows or door. No, well, no windows or doors. There is a door at the front. There's a padlock on the front of it. There aren't any windows though. This is the one that's just off towards the side.
Why don't you look around the back of house and I will check shed.
Alright.
I'll stay up the front here and keep an eye out.
Yeah. Someone go with you. Nick and I will.
You want to come with me, Winky?
Okay, stay with Dan.
Okay. I'll stay at the front, but I'll see if I can find any small openings in the curtains or anything that I can get some kind of
I'm
peek
looking
inside.
backwards towards the road, and keeping an eye out. Just the grass road and beyond.
Okay. You're going around the back of the property?
Nick, yeah.
Yeah. You and Nick start to make your way around. You're heading over towards the shed. Padlock on the front of it.
I
door.
am comfortable to pop open padlock, but first I wait to see if anyone's home so we don't come off as robbers straight away.
I'll just be tapping the window as we go around. Like, just lightly and listening.
All those curtains sealed. Nothing. Continue around a little bit further. When you make it around the far side of the house, there's bushes and stuff around the side. You see a section of where the gravel driveway leads around to the side of the house. There's a vehicle there, covered with a, like, outside vehicle, snug cover thing. Fit that on a package.
Wasn't focus tested much, was it?
It wasn't. No sounds from inside as you continue to knock your way around, and eventually you make your way back towards the front where the others are waiting, Ferdinand by the gate.
When I see
Okay,
Jake
wait.
come back around, I... First, before we pop open lock on shed, is there much grass growing in the doorway, or does it look like frequent travel has been in there?
By the front of the house?
By the front of the shed.
Front of the shed? No. There's weeds growing up from here.
Take my Leatherman, and I put it in padlock, and I pop it.
Okay, alright. That's kind of gonna be might. Or are you...
I'm pretty mighty.
Yeah. You can give it a go.
I
It's gonna be difficult. It's a -20 to your skill.
I do not successfully do this.
You get the Leatherman in there and you... And it just kind of comes out slightly. The blade isn't damaged, but it just wasn't a clean in.
So Dex, I get the back end of it where the spike kind of hammer part is, and I just go through and I just give it a whack.
So you see this guy walk up with this mixture between a spade and an axe. A thing that doesn't exist, but something made by hand.
And a ball hammer and a pike.
Yeah, a ball hammer and a pike on the end of it. Yeah. A pike or a spike? Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a hammer end.
Because a pike is a blunt spike. Because it's yes. Anyway, you go up and against it.
In Russia, pike is a fish.
Yeah. There you go. You press up against it and go in. You can roll. It's also using might. Because it's not actual like a weapon attack. You're pressing it up against it and pushing in.
What do I get? Bonus? Anything?
This is going to be flat. Because it's quite a large thing pressing up against it. It's your might that's doing it. More than the weapon itself.
It's leverage.
Your leverage.
Will I pass anyway? 29?
You crunch in, and this thing, seeming to be a little bit old, maybe a little bit bristler than you think, just kind of crunches and hangs free.
Okay.
Open up the shed door.
I open it carefully.
It's dark, but the light from in here filters in. It's dusty. It's clear. You're not seeing anything living or dead inside, but you do see a number of things hung up in there. saddles, harnesses, reins, bags, horsing goods. There are feed bags that go over the horse's head. A number of goods. The rest of you are out the front of this property.
Did I find any sort of places to peek past the curtains, or are they all pretty tightly?
It's all tight up, yeah.
No movement on where I was when the shed got smashed open?
Nope.
I will pull a saddle out of shed so these guys can see clearly that we have them.
Anyone know how to
Saddle a horse.
fit the... Yeah.
No, but I've seen a couple movies with horses. Sure, we can figure it.
There's maybe we should check the house just in case we are robbing these people.
Yes, good idea.
So you want to bust in a door and...
Maybe look for a key
Why would someone leave a key outside the house?
under the mat.
Huh.
You walk up towards the front.
Yeah.
There is a welcome mat. This time not daisy. Seems to be like lavender on them. Lifted up. There is 2 keys sitting underneath it there.
Huh.
Well,
Does one look like it fits a shed padlock?
One looks a little smaller than the other.
I'll take the one that looks like a house key.
Right.
Just before you open the door.
Oh, too late.
You've turned it.
I'm telling you, yeah.
You've just turned the lock.
you
It doesn't.
unlocked
It's not
the
an
door.
automatic.
Oh, right.
It's not a video game.
Like Star Trek doors.
Yes.
Dracula standing in the entranceway just waiting.
We've seen stuff come out of houses before. It's, I know it looks a little bit fucking disconcerting when someone walks into your house with a gas mask on, but it's just that place could be sealed up and there could be sports everywhere in there.
Okay.
So that's just
Good thinking.
Yep. Gas mask on. And
hatchet.
I
And knife.
You
I
gas
don't
up?
know about what the attachments that were on the big gun, but was there a light on it?
No.
No, why would there be a light on
Nick
the
and I have
rifle?
like
I'm an idiot. Never mind. Don't worry. Don't worry.
have
about it.
torches
It's
on our
very
helmets.
effective at
Yeah.
Yeah, they call those lasers.
They call it.
Yeah.
Nick and I both have torches on our helmets.
That's cool.
Yeah. You torch on.
Oh no, you gave me a flashlight as well. But yeah, I will open the door.
Okay. You open the door. And as you do, there is like a slight moment where like dust, maybe it's dust, maybe it's not, escapes through the opening. And there by the front door, you see what was a human. Outstretched, arm on the floor, clothing all over here, blood up the walls, on the floor, parts of this person strewn down the hall. But the majority of the bones sit here, and it's just bones. And some of those bones are broken, crunched. This was a person. On the door frame itself, you can see indentations of a bloodied hand and where fingernails have scraped down against it.
So we only see one.
You're still in the doorway.
Hello?
I put my big gun away
Nothing.
and I grab the little hatchet that I've got.
Okay.
Let's go in.
You don't hear any noise inside. You step inside the hallway. Start making your way down it.
Once we get to the dead, I do want to double tap it in the head.
There is no head. It's all bone.
Can I look it over
There
to
is
see?
nothing left on this thing.
It looks like that happened a while ago, right?
Yeah, the blood on the wall is very dry.
Okay, cool.
Very, very dry.
Looking around the room itself.
The bone itself, not white. It's got dust that's collected on it.
Looking around the room itself, do I see signs of struggle?
In here, yeah, down the hallway you can see bits and pieces that have been pulled over. What looks like a oh my god. I was going to go back to jacket holster because that's what we called it last time.
Jacket
A freaking
holster.
coat holder. But we went to jacket holster for
Coat
some reason
stand.
last time. A coat stand. Freaking coat stand. It's a normal thing, Rycon. You see that over on the ground. You kind of have to duck through it when you're going through the hallway. Other bits and pieces that are kind of tossed around. The clothing, very shredded. You're able to easily kind of determine that this was part of a pajama set at some point.
On the clothing that's left, is it all sort of rips and tears, or can you see puncture wounds of sort? Like some like as if it'd been punctured.
This has been torn apart.
It's been
Shredded.
ripped and shredded. So this seems more more akin to like an animal attack than a. Okay.
Might just be.
Keep an eye out for that.
While these guys are in the house, I will attempt to prepare the horses with saddles.
All right. Okay, you start working on that. Moving throughout the rest of the house.
Do we see like a dog bowl or anything?
What's it, sorry?
Do we see a dog bowl or anything?
So you go into the kitchen. You do. You see family photos up on the fridge. A mum, a dad, and a little girl. You continue through this place, and as you start to make your way deeper in, there is a swish of particles in the air. You're relatively sure that there are spores in this place, or something like them.
Radio that through.
Floaties.
Go. Looks like there's spores here, guys.
I wouldn't want to spend too much time in here if that's the case, but
We've got
look for
we need.
anything. Look for anything useful.
In the entranceway or nearby, is there key hooks, bowl on a side table, something like that?
There's like a set, like stuck up on the wall.
There are car keys on that.
Yep.
Take those and head round back and see if what that condition is under the.
All right.
What I want to look for is scrape or scratch marks on either the walls or the floor, and see whether they're like how big those are. If I can determine like the spacing between any fingers that might have made those scratch marks or claw marks
On the ground?
on the ground, on the walls. Anyway,
What are you trying to determine about them?
I'm trying to determine how big the hand was that
Oh, right.
clawed,
Did the clawing.
did the clawing. Basically, I want to know.
Human-sized?
No, I want to know if it was the little girl or the.
Oh, right. Judging by the finger bones that you can find up here, it was this person here. It seems to be an adult.
No other set of claw marks.
Not that you can see.
We've got the keys. We don't need anything else here, do we?
Not that I can think of.
Let's just go back up slowly.
Yep.
Lock the door.
Makes sense.
Actually, a vivid or something, just so I can write on the door, dead inside.
In the kitchen,
and like
by a
spores
phone,
in there or whatever.
there's
you
a
know?
whole heap of pins just next to the phone. Take that, you start heading outside. You're still saddling up. Dan, as you make it around the side towards where this car is, as you get up towards it and you're about to kind of like pull up the thing, you notice that by the passenger side door, which is the one that you're by at the moment, there are a set of keys on the ground. It's a key ring, a daisy on one, and multiple keys on it.
But the covering's still...
Covering's down.
Looking around at it's all gravel around here.
Yeah, roll an investigation check for me and get a plus 20 to your skill.
Jesus, I'm rolling like... Yeah, oh. Reroll that.
It's risky.
Yeah. 51 passed.
Oh, nice. What were you trying to determine?
Looking at the gravel, if there was any specific signs of, like, whoever dropped these keys, if they were dragged off into the fields, under the car, if there's sort of something that might give away.
So, as you're looking at the gravel, looking at where you picked up these keys from, you can see that the covering of the car, especially on this passenger side, it's not all the way down. And lifting it up slightly, underneath of it, you can see just a bit of dark blood. Lifting up a little bit further, on the car door, you see a small red hand. Dried. Barely visible.
Handprint.
Handprint.
So that's just down on the bottom of the
Almost like the back of a hand.
from underneath.
Yeah, and it's on the covering as well.
Does that cover go all the way to the ground?
No, on this side it didn't. There was something else that you noticed.
I'm gonna back up
Mm-hmm.
and just lean down a little bit just to see if I can start to catch a glimpse under there. Just being
Yep.
pretty careful that in case there's something down there.
Roll stealth for me as you start to get down low.
.31 pass.
Okay. Quietly as ever, you get down on the ground, look underneath the car. Nothing.
Okay.
Where's everyone else right now?
Him and I getting out of the house.
Yep.
You're out the house. You've just finished writing on the door. Scott, you're outside with them as well.
Yeah, just outside the kind of between the shed and the house, just keeping an eye on
Soon as we-
here.
Yep.
As soon as we leave the house, I put the hatchet back and bring my gun back out.
Nick, you're with all the others there.
I would have been at the doorway basically that
Yep.
whole time, just waiting.
Okay. Alright. Nothing underneath the car.
From where I am with how little I've lifted that up, can I see the tires or enough to get an idea of if they've
The
inflated?
tires are deflated.
Red. Yeah. All right. Then I'll leave and go back to the rest of the group.
Okay. You head back towards the others, leaving the keys there.
Yeah.
Alright. You head back towards the others. You all reconvene.
No. Maybe some signs of what happened to the daughter.
I had a thought. If people are gonna be where we're going, fuel's not easy to come by. We could check that car to see if there's any fuel left.
The
Could be a bargaining chip.
petrol would be pretty
Gone by now.
spoiled by now, I think.
Mm.
The
That
Tires
starts
are
going down.
screwed.
It'll last for a few months. Yeah. Look, if we can get these horses settled up,
yeah. It's only good for parts, I think, at this point.
Fair enough.
any bicycles here?
Looking in that shed, no.
How many saddles were in the shed?
4 saddles. Like helmets as well.
Is that all we found kind of in there? Was there any like drawers or cabinets or anything in there?
There were a few, yeah. Are you looking for anything in particular, or having just a
Let's just see if
browse?
this was just like a horse storagey place, or if there was any other kind of things in there.
Find a
Alright.
whole shelf of horses.
Roll luck for me. Roll investigation first. There are a number of tools. Nothing that jumps out to you that's immediately useful that you're looking for, because you're not looking for anything specifically. It's a shed. There's all kinds of things in here, but nothing that really jumps out at you.
Let's say 3 horses, spare saddle. Makes sense. I
Makes
don't
sense,
think
yeah.
there's probably any others.
Are the tools, are they old?
More than 5 years.
They're not like
everything's
rusted and
more
stuff,
than
I mean.
No, a mixture. Yeah, some old, some new.
Some borrowed?
Maybe. There was one that said Steve's on the side.
I don't want to spend too much time on it, but the ones that I feel like I could break pretty easy, I'm just going to break the metal off it and store it in my bag.
You're going to
Break
break
the metal off it.
the metal tools.
No, like things like if there's like a wooden
Yeah.
handle, for example, I'll break it off, take the metal.
Okay.
Salvage scrap metal.
How much are you going to take with you? As much as you can in that time?
Yeah, just off from the handheld tools.
Roll broadcraft for me. Broadcraft. Give yourself a plus 20.
Yeah, 39 pass.
You're able to get a fair amount. You do notice, though, as you start to walk away in your backpack, that it does make a fair bit of noise. Just as you move around from side to side.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's wrapped in the other kind of like stuff that I have in my bag, like cloths and stuff.
Okay, so you take your 2 units of cloths and stuff, and
Oh, they're not expended, but I like
yeah,
just make sure that it's not loose in my bag. It's
Okay.
contained.
all right. Seems like it might be a little better.
Are there any kind of bags we could put on the horses, as well as the saddles?
There are saddlebags as well.
I would like to
Yeah.
take those, and if there is some grains, maybe, or foods for the horses we could put in there.
Having a look around, there are some bags in
It's a
here,
bag of flowers.
but they've been in here for a while.
Maybe not so
And
good.
they certainly don't smell good. Upon opening them, it's
Maybe the horses are better eating field grass.
I mean,
so. Just to clarify, what was in there were saddles. There were the things that go beneath the saddles, blanket-like things,
Reins and bridles.
jacket holsters. There are saddlebags. There are little horse riding helmets, not for the horses, for the people who ride the horses.
What, the horses
And-
don't get protection?
And there are horse feed bags as well
Hey, if we can go back, we've got a lot of
that
wheat.
go over the head.
And yeah, I assume reins and bridles and stuff too.
plenty of grass
Yes,
around. So
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
have
yeah.
grass.
The whole shebang. And so you have got these horses pretty well rigged up by the time this is over, and they seem pretty comfortable with this. These are not wild horses, from what you're able to tell.
I don't suppose we can find any kind of like cart or wagon or something we could drag behind the horses. Then we can each have 2 of us riding on each horse and still drag along the other people.
I don't know if lots of places have chariots lying around.
I mean, there's a car here, but beyond that,
We'll just take an afternoon, strip the engine out.
More like
Yeah.
a radio flyer.
What
Yeah.
you didn't know is this place is they actually did like Renaissance reenactments.
Yeah.
unfortunately, from what you've been able to see around this area, you haven't discovered anything like that. Not to say that there isn't somewhere, but just not from what you've seen so far.
It's a farm. Was there a trailer?
Only seen the one vehicle. Just to confirm, just to let you know as well, this vehicle is a sedan. It seems to be sedan-like shaped.
Maybe we can find.
It could be a hatchback
Trailer on
with boxes piled up.
We'll still have to find a way to attach it to a horse. How we attach?
One thing is, we should be able to move a little more quickly if we take all of our days of food and bags and metal clunky thing and put on horse.
Maybe, but then the horses can run away with all our supplies.
Not with two of us riding on each of them, though. Only 2 people must be walking at one time. Other 4 of us can be on horses.
Alright.
I'd say
I'd say keep
since
some of
we'll
your
have-
stuff with you.
since we'll have to walk at people pace.
That's not true. We can walk at horse pace. No, what I mean is if you got 4 on the horses, 2 sort of jogging, and then we swap out.
We
I'm
can
thinking
rotate
We get
around.
tired, we rotate, so we keep our speed up, but we just rotate
Maybe
around.
don't overburden the horses in case we
I'm not
need
riding
them
a horse.
for.
I was just going to say, maybe also the people that have prosthetics might find it a little bit easier for
Yeah.
long distance travel using
Yeah.
using them. But I mean,
That's fair.
I'm
Yeah,
not using a horse. I fucking hate horses.
okay, all right.
tell
Scott
them
hates
that.
horses.
I'd say yeah.
They don't taste that
Bad
bad.
experiences. Bad experiences.
Roll for mental wounds.
I definitely wouldn't say overburden them and. If
No,
we
I'm
wanted-
not talking about having the horses sprinting, but you know.
Okay.
horses
Well, if
gonna
you're putting
trot
all our
faster
stuff and 2 people on
than us.
each horse,
The horses are rigged up. Those of you who wish to transfer things into the saddlebags to make your life a little easier, do. Do any of you keep all of your things?
I keep everything.
Okay.
I keep all of my things.
Okay.
All my things.
Is anyone attempting to ride the horses?
I will ride horse if no one else is
All right.
riding.
Mikhail is on one of the horses. Which one do you want to be on? Buttercup or the slightly larger one?
Buttercup, but I must say that I am quite fit and happy walking, so if one of you guys with broken everything wants to be on horse, it's okay.
I think you qualify for broken everything.
Who's going to look a gift horse in the mouse? In the mouse?
And the mouse.
God damn.
It's your first time with English too.
It is. It is. Yep. Many suspect that.
Okay. Yeah, probably a good idea if people with bung legs.
probably bung
You
legs.
don't
I
want to
don't know how to ride a
ride.
horse, but I'll try.
You just don't kick it much.
Gotcha.
Plus, for you guys being on the horse, be higher up, be able to see a little bit further than we can, which can have a tiny bit of an extra early warning.
The important thing is
Okay.
don't kick it. Let it just. It should just follow us.
So
we
Mikhail
take the,
and Verdant.
So definitely no shooting my gun while I'm on the
You do.
horse.
You have those
Yes.
as well.
Yeah. And can we get some
What
sort
about
of
explosives?
horse filters?
No exploding the horse.
Mikhail and Verdant mount up. You leave this place behind.
We make sure we take some of the
You guys
Feedbacks.
took all, yeah,
yeah things
Yeah.
and stuff.
and stuff. Yeah, they're all rigged up.
Cool.
You start to clop along the road. The rest of you still walking. It's been a fair day so far. This is a decent amount of walking. It's tiring. Even with all the equipment that you have, you can walk with it. Doesn't mean it doesn't start to feel after a while.
How long had we traveled to that house?
It's taken a fair while.
We would have rested at that house before we left.
Yeah, stop for lunch.
Which house did you rest at?
The
horse house.
The horse house.
You're resting at this horse house. Okay, you're not leaving. You have the horses ready to go. And you sit yourselves down, have yourself a bit of a meal. Your second one of the day,
First one out of our supplies.
and it's quiet here. Really quiet. But as you're sitting here, Dan, you have that car slightly in sight, and you can't help but notice it just shifting slightly.
The whole car, or just the?
Just the car, yeah. And that's where we're going to end today's session. Thank you all for joining us for another one. I've been Rycon. You have all been awesome. And until next time, stay tuned.